Hello everyone, myself Bismi Picharan, Assistant Professor at Suresh Yanviha University. Today we are going to discuss about the bioinformatic databases. So we have discussed about the bioinformatics, what is the concept of the bioinformatics and what are the need of the bioinformatics. Today we are going to discuss about the databases, bioinformatic databases. So learning objective of this topic is these lessons will help the students to understand what is bioinformatics database. Outcomes after this lesson, students will be able to describe means what is databases, means what is bioinformatics databases, how many types of the databases are available. So all the things students will be able to describe after this lesson. So biological data are very complex, exception ridden, vast and incomplete also. Okay, so the biological data are very complex. Therefore, several databases have been created and interpreted to ensure results. Okay, so these biological databases are very complex. Because of that complexity, several databases have been created and interpreted to ensure the results. Collections of the biological data are arranged in computer readable form. Okay, so the collected data are arranged in the manner that should be readable for everyone. Okay, so the collection of the biological data arranged in computer readable form that enhances the speed of the search and retrieval and the convenient to use is called biological database. Okay, so this is the definition of the biological database, a collection of the biological data that are arranged in the computer. Okay, the collection of the biological data that are arranged in the computer readable form. Okay, in the readable form that enhances the speed of the search. Okay, that readable content or readable format that enhances the speed of the search and retrieval and convenient to use, that is known as biological database. Okay, so the database means the collection of the informations, okay, or the collection of the data. So here we are going to discuss about the bioinformatic databases. So the main definition of this biological database is the collection of the biological data that are arranged in the computer in a readable form. Okay, in a readable form that enhances the speed of the search and the retrieval and convenient to use, that is known as biological database. Okay, so the biological database should be means readable. Okay, readable. And also when we search, means if we search any database in any data, so that should be, means the searching speed should be very high. Okay, so in that way we can retrieve all the information that we want. So the biological database is the collection of the biological data, okay, in the computer that should be readable format and that enhances the speed of the search and the retrieval and that is also convenient to use, that is known as biological database. A good database must have updated information. Okay, so the good database, okay, so the updation of the information must be there in the database. Okay, that is known as a good database. So this is necessary to update all the information regularly in the databases. Okay, so that is known as the good database. So the biological data are very complex. Okay, therefore, so this is where these are very complex as well as very vast and incomplete. Okay, so biological data is not completed yet now, because this is the all the scientists, all the researchers, they are researching all the things. So this is not completed. So these are very vast as well as incomplete also, and these are very complex also. Okay, for collecting all these data, for collecting all these complex data, there are several databases have been created. Okay, so the collection of the data or the collection of the biological data that is arranged in the computer readable form, in the readable form Okay, the collection of the data in the computer should be readable form. Okay, in the readable form means everybody can read from that databases. Okay, so that is main thing, that is in the readable form, that enhances the speed of the search and the retrieval and the convenient to use. Okay, that is known as biological database. A good database must have updated information. The database should be updated regularly. Okay, so let's see the importance of the biological databases. What are the importance of the biological databases? A range of information like biological sequences, structures, binding sites, metabolic interactions, molecular action, functional relationship, protein families, motifs, and the homologous can be retrieved by using biological databases. Okay, so that there are different types of the databases are available. Okay, some databases is only for the sequences, some databases only for the structures. Okay, the some databases is only for the binding sites. Okay, so we can find out the structure from particular structure database. Okay, so these all the things, all the biological sequences, structures, binding sites, metabolic interactions, molecular actions, all the things we can save, or we can save in the, or we can retrieve from the biological databases. The main purpose of a biological database is to store and manage biological data, and the information in the computer should be in the readable form. Okay, so the main purpose of this biological database, okay, the main purpose of the biological database is to store all the data in a one place and manage all the biological data in one place. Okay, so this is the main purpose of this biological database. Okay, with the help of this database we can store all the data, all the information about this biological data, and we can manage all the biological data through these databases. Okay, and this all the information in the databases should be readable form. Okay, and all the databases, where all the databases we can save all the databases in the computer, and that should be in the readable form. Okay, that is very compulsory thing, that should be in the readable form. So all these databases we can store in the computer, and all must be in the readable form. And we can store, we can retrieve the data, we can retrieve all the information about means structures or the binding sites or the metabolic interactions from the biological data, biological databases. Primary databases contains only sequence or the structure information. So there are two types of the databases there are there. First is primary database and second is secondary database. Okay, so the primary database contain only the sequence or the structural information. Okay, so we can find only sequence and the structure information in the primary database. The database derived from the analysis or the treatment of the primary data are known as secondary database. Okay, so there are two types of the database. First, primary database, and second, secondary database. Primary database contains only the sequence and the structure information, whereas the secondary database means the database derived from the analysis or the treatment of the primary data. Okay, analysis and the secondary databases are derived from the analysis or the treatment of the primary data, that are secondary databases. Okay, means the secondary database always derived from the primary database. Okay, and it is very important for interfering protein function. Okay, it is very important for interfering protein function. So there are two type of the databases, primary databases and the secondary databases. Okay, so here we are going to discuss about the primary databases. Some examples I have mentioned here. So first is GenBank. Okay, so GenBank is coming under in the primary database. GenBank, one of the fastest growing repositories of non-nucleotide sequences. Okay, so this GenBank, in the GenBank, we can find out all the nucleotide sequences. Okay, in the GenBank, we can find out all the all non-nucleotide sequences. So GenBank, the full form of the GenBank is Genetic Sequence Data Bank. genetic sequence data bank has a flat file structure. It is an ASCII text file readable by both human and the computer. Okay, so we have already discussed that all the databases should be readable. Okay, so this gene bank can be readable by both human and the computers. Okay, besides sequence database, gene bank files contain information such as accession numbers and the gene names. Okay, accession number, gene name also we can find out from the gene bank. Phylogenetic classification and references to the published literature also we can find from the gene bank. Okay, so in the gene bank, the main means we can find out all the non-nucleotide sequences in the gene bank, and the full form of the gene bank is genetic sequence data bank. Okay, and it can be readable by both human and the computer. Okay, so beside this nucleotide sequence, we can find the accession numbers, gene names, phylogenetic classification, and the references to the published literature also we can find out from the gene bank. Okay, so gene bank mainly is only for the nucleotide, we can find out all nucleotide sequences from the gene bank, and we also find out all the gene names, phylogenetic classification, accession numbers from the gene bank. Okay, this database has been developed and maintained at the NCBI. Okay, so NCBI has developed this database, and okay, and this is maintained by the NCBI. Okay, so Bethesda MD USA as a part of International Sequence Database collaboration. So this all the collaboration has developed this gene bank. Okay, and maintained at the NCBI MD USA as the part of the International Sequence Database Collaboration, that is known as INSDC, International Sequence Database Collaboration. Okay, it is an open access sequence database, means we don't have to pay any means we don't have to pay for using this database gene bank. Okay, means gene bank anybody can use without any payment. Okay, it coordinates with individual laboratories and other sequence database like EMBL and DDBJ. Okay, so it coordinates with individual laboratories and other sequence databases like EMBL and the DDBJ. So GeneBank is an open access database. Okay, and it is readable by both computer and the human also, and it coordinates with individual laboratories, other sequence databases like EMBL and the DDBJ. It is an annotated collection of all nucleotide sequences that are available to the public. So this gene bank contains all nucleotide sequences, and that is available for the public also. Okay. This nucleotide database was divided into 3 databases at NCBI. Okay, so this nucleotide database in the gene bank itself, this nucleotide database has divided into 3 databases. So first one is core nucleotide database. Core nucleotide database. Second is expressed sequence tag, that is EST, expressed sequence tag. Third is genome survey sequence, genome survey sequence, that is GSS. So this nucleotide databases divided into 3 types or 3 databases like core nucleotide database, expressed sequence tag, and third one is genome survey sequence. Core nucleotide database has most of the nucleotide sequences used. So in the core nucleotide databases, all the nucleotide sequence we can find. It also encloses all nucleotide records that are not in the EST as well as the GSS database. So all the nucleotide we can find out from the core nucleotide. Okay, so it includes all the nucleotide records that are not in the EST and the GSS databases. Okay, so these nucleotide databases are divided into three databases: core nucleotide database, express sequence tag, genome survey sequence. Okay, and the core nucleotide database has most of the nucleotide sequence used, and it also include all the nucleotide records that are not in the EST as well as in the GSS database. Submission of the sequences to gene bank can be done using Bankit, Sequin, and the Table2ASN tools. So these are the tools. With the help of these tools, we can submit the sequence or we can submit the nucleotide sequence to the gene bank. Okay, with the help of these tools, we can submit nucleotide sequence to the gene bank. So this is all about the gene bank database. Okay, so gene bank database contain all the nucleotide sequences. Okay, and this can be readable by both human and computers, and this contain all the information, means all the nucleotide sequence information. Okay, and it also contain all the accession number, gene names, phylogenetic classification, all the things we can find out from the gene bank. And this nucleotide sequence is again divided into nucleotide database, again divided into three types, that is core nucleotide database, expressed sequencing tags, and the genome survey sequence. So from these three core nucleotide, from the core nucleotide database, we can find out all the nucleotide informations or all the nucleotide sequence information. Okay, so that are no, means we can find out almost all the things from the core nucleotides, because this core nucleotide contains, or it contains all the records of the nucleotide that are not present in the EST and the GSS database. EST means express sequencing sequence tag, and the GSS is genome survey sequence. Okay, so this is all about, and we can submit the nucleotide sequence to gene bank by using these tools. Okay, so this is all about the gene bank that is coming under in the primary database. Okay, second is EMBL, that is European Molecular Biology Laboratory. Okay, this is again one database, EMBL, European Molecular Biological Laboratory, a comprehensive database of DNA and RNA sequence. EMBL nucleotide sequence database is collected from scientific literature, patient office, and is directly submitted by the researchers also. Okay, so this EMBL is mainly DNA and the RNA sequence. Okay, this EMBL mainly contains DNA and the RNA sequences. Okay, and this EMBL nucleotide sequence database is collected. Okay, all the data are collected from the scientific literatures, patient offices, and directly submitted by the researchers. Okay, so all the data in the EMBL, they are collected, that are collected from the scientific literature, patient offices, and some databases are directly submitted by the researchers. Okay, so EMBL has been prepared in the collaboration with Gene Bank USA and the DNA database of Japan, that is DDBJ. Okay, so this EMBL has been prepared in the collaboration of two databases. That is, first one we have learned Gene Bank, that is from USA. Okay, and the DNA database. Second is DNA database of the Japan, DDBJ. Okay, so this EMBL has been prepared in the collaboration with Gene Bank and the DNA database of the Japan. And this EMBL is established in the 1980s. It is maintained by EBI. Okay, so it is maintained by EBI, that is European Bioinformatics Institute. Okay, so this European Bioinformatics Institute maintained this EMBL. Okay, so this EMBL, all the DNA and the RNA sequences are present in the EMBL, and this EMBL nucleotide sequence database is collected from the scientific literature, patient office, and is directly submitted by the researchers also. Okay, and this EMBL has been prepared in collaboration with Gene Bank, that is from USA, and the DNA database, that is from Japan, DDBJ. Okay, and this EMBL is established in 1980, and this is maintained by one institute that is known as, that is European Bioinformatics Institute. So this is all about EMBL. EMBL is again primary database. Next is SwissPort. SwissPort, this is curated protein sequence database. Okay, so this is the protein sequence database. SwissPort is the protein sequence database that offers a high level of integration with other databases and also has a very low level of redundancy. Okay, so this SwissPort is a curated protein sequence database that offer high level of integration with other databases and also has a low level of redundancy. SwissPort strives to provide protein sequence with a high level of annotation. Okay, so this SwissPort strives to provide protein sequence with high level of annotation. For instance, the description of protein function, domain structure, post translation modification. So all the things we can find from this SwissPort. Okay, means the description of the protein function, domain structure, post translation modification, all the things we can find out from the SwissPort, and the SwissPort is curated protein sequence database. Okay, SwissPort database is the protein sequence database, and this provide protein sequence with high level of the annotation that include protein function, domain structure, post-translation modification. It is established in 1986. EMBL was established in 1980s. This SwissPort is established in 1986 and maintained collaboratively since 1987 by the Department of Medical Biochemistry of the University of the Geneva and the EMBL Data Library. Okay, so this SwissPort is for protein sequence. Okay, and this was established in 1986 and maintained by the Department of Medical Biochemistry of the University of Geneva and the EMBL Data Library. Okay, and TREMBL is a computer. Okay, TREMBL is a computer annotated supplement of SwissPort that contain all translation of EMBL nucleotide sequence entries which is not yet integrated in the SwissPort. So TREMBL is the computer annotated supplement of the SwissPort that contain all the translation of the EMBL nucleotide sequence entries which is not yet integrated in SwissPort. Currently, SwissPort have 0.5 and TREMBL have 7.56 million sequences. Okay, so SwissPort have only 0.5 million sequence, whereas this TREMBL have 7.6 million sequences. Okay, so this is all about the SwissPort. Okay, so this SwissPort is for this protein sequence database. Okay, SwissPort is for the protein sequence databases. SwissPort is a database that contains all the protein sequence. Okay, and this was established in 1986 and it is maintained by the Department of Medical Biochemistry, University of the Geneva and the EMBL Data Library. TREMBL is again a database that is a computer annotated supplement of SwissPort that contain all translation of EMBL nucleotide sequence entries, which is not yet integrated in the SwissPort. The SwissPort contain 0.5 million sequences, whereas TREMBL contain 7.6 million sequences. Next, so this SwissPort is again the coming under in the category of primary database. Okay, next is protein information resources. Okay, protein information resources, that is known as PIR, protein information resources. PIR is an integrated public bioinformatics resource to support genomic and the proteomic research and scientific studies. PIR is an integrated public bioinformatics resource to support genomic and proteomic research and the scientific studies. Nowadays, PIR offers a wide variety of the resources, mainly oriented to assisting the propagation and the consistency of protein annotation like PIRSF, ProClass, and the ProLink. Okay, so this PIR is integrated public bioinformatics resource to support genomic and the proteomic research and the scientific studies. Nowadays, PIR offers a wide variety of resources, mainly oriented to assisting the propagation and the consistency of protein annotation like PIRSF, ProClass, and the ProLink. So these all are the examples of the primary databases. So first one, GeneBank, second is EMBL, third is SwissPort database, and fourth one is Protein Information Resource, that is PIR. So let's see the secondary biological databases, examples of some secondary biological databases. So first one is motif database. Okay, so motif database, protein sequence motif is a set of conserved amino acid residues that are important for protein function. Okay, so this protein sequence motif is the set of amino acid residue. Okay, the set of the amino acid residue is known as protein sequence motif, and these are important for the protein function, are located within a certain distance from one another. Okay, so these are located within a certain distance from one another. These motifs usually provide clues to the function of otherwise uncharacterized proteins. Okay, so there are lots of uncharacterized protein. So these motifs provide all the clues. Okay, these motifs provide clues of the function to the uncharacterized protein. So this is the motif database. This means protein sequence motif. A motif is the set of the conserved amino acid residues that are important for the protein functions, and these are located within a certain distance from one another. These motifs usually provide clues to the functions of otherwise uncharacterized proteins. The ProCite database consists of documentation entries describing protein domains. Okay, so ProCite database. Okay, this is a example of the secondary databases. So the ProCite is another database that contains, okay, that consists of documentation entries. Okay, documentation entries, that entries or the documentation entry describing the protein domains. Okay, protein domain description is present in the documentation entries of the ProCite database. Okay, so this ProCite database contains documentation entries that describes protein domains, families, functional sites, as well as associated patterns and the profiles to identify them. Okay, so this ProCite is another database that contains the documentation entries that describes the protein domains, families, functional sites, as well as associated patterns and the profiles to identify them. Okay, so with the help of these things, we can identify the protein. Okay, PRINT is the database of the protein fingerprint. Okay, so PRINT is another database. Okay, PRINT is another database that contain the protein fingerprints. A fingerprint is a group of conserved motifs used to characterize the protein family. Okay, so the fingerprint is a group of conserved motifs used to characterize a protein family. So this motif databases, okay, motif databases main means what is motif databases. Okay, so this protein sequence motif. Okay, so here we are discussing about the protein sequence motifs. So these are the set of the conserved amino acid residues. So these conserved amino acid residues are very important for the protein function. Okay, and they are located within a certain distance from one another. Okay, so these motifs usually provide clues to the functions to otherwise uncharacterized proteins. So we have discussed two databases here. First is ProCite and second is PRINT. ProCite database contain all the documentation entries of the protein domain, protein family, protein functional sites, all the things we can find out in the ProCyte database, whereas the print database, from the print database, we can find out all the fingerprint of the proteins. Okay, or we can find out all the protein fingerprints from the print database. So these two databases are the secondary databases. Okay, next is domain databases. Okay, so the domain databases, again, the example of the secondary databases. So a protein domain is an independently folded, structurally compact unit that forms a steady three-dimensional structure. Okay, so this protein domain is an independently folded. Okay, so this domain is an independently folded, structurally compact unit that forms a steady three-dimensional structure and shows a certain levels of evolutionary conservation. Okay, evolutionary conservation. Typically, a conserved domain contain one or more motifs. Okay, so conserved domain contain one or more motifs. So prodome. Prodome is a protein domain database. Prodome is a prodome is a database that can, in that we can find out protein domain. Okay, automatically generated from the Swiss port and the TREMBL sequence database. So prodome is automatically generated database. Okay, prodome is an automatically generated database from the Swiss port and the TREMBL sequence databases. Okay, so the prodome is a database. These are automatically generated from the Swiss port and the TREMBL sequence database. Next is SMART. Okay, these all are the example of the secondary databases and example of the domain databases. So domain, first one, prodome. Prodome is the protein domain databases and generated from the Swiss port and the TREMBL sequence database. Second is SMART. SMART is another database. This is highly reliable and sensitive tool for domain identification. Okay, so the SMART database is highly reliable as well as highly sensitive tool for domain identification. Next is COG. COG is again another database. COG is a database and convenient tool for motifs and the domain identification. So COG is a database that is convenient tool for the motifs and the domain identification. So this is all about the domain database. Okay, there are prodome databases are there, SMART databases are there, and the COG databases are there. COG databases are convenient tool for motifs and the domain identification. SMART databases are very reliable, highly reliable and high sensitive tool for domain identification, whereas prodome is a protein domain database that is automatically generated from the Swiss port and the TREMBL database. Next is 3D structure databases. Okay, 3D structure databases. PDB, Protein Data Bank. Okay, PDB, Protein Data Bank is the main primary database for 3D structure of the biological macromolecules that is determined by X-ray, crystallography, and the NMR. So we can find out the 3D structures. Okay, 3D structures of the biological molecular from the PDB, that is Protein Data Bank. Protein Data Bank is the main primary database for the 3D structure of the biological macromolecules. Okay, so how we can find out 3D structure? With the help of the X-ray, crystallography, and the NMR. It also accepts the experimental data used to determine the structures and the homology models. So this PDB also accepts experimental data that is used to determine the structures and the homology models. So in the 3D structure database, we can find out all the 3D structures of the biological macromolecules. Okay, and how we can find out 3D structure? Normally we can find out 3D structure of the macromolecules from the X-ray or crystallography or by the NMR. Okay, so all this PDB or the Protein Data Bank accepts all the experimental data used to determine the structures and the homology models. Next database in the 3D structure database is SCOP, that is Structural Classification of Protein Database. Structural Classification of Protein Database classifies proteins 3D structures in a hierarchical schemes of the structure classes. All the protein structures in the PDB are classified here, and the updated new structures are deposited in the PDB. So all the protein structures, okay, all the protein structures in PDB are classified here. In the SCOP, all the protein structures classified, and updated new structures are deposited into the PDB. Okay, if any new structure updated, that is also updated in the PDB. The next is cath database. Okay, cath database: class, architecture, topology, and the homologous. Okay, class, architecture, topology, and the homologous database contains the classification of protein domain structure. Okay, so in the 3D structure databases, we have discussed PDB, protein data bank, SCOP, and cath database. Next is protein data bank. Okay, PDB is a repository for 3D structured data obtained by X-ray crystallography or NMR spectroscopy of the proteins and the nucleic acid. Okay, so we have discussed this PDB. PDB is a repository for 3D structural data obtained by the X-ray crystallography and NMR spectroscopy of protein and the nucleic acid. Research Collaboratory for Structural Bioinformatics, that is RCSB. Research R, Collaboratory C, S, Structural, B, Bioinformatics. RCSB PDB provides a variety of the tools and the resources for studying the structures of biological macromolecules and their relationship with other sequences and its functions and diseases caused, if any. Okay, so in this RCSB, in this RCSB, Research Collaboratory for Structural Bioinformatics, PDB, Protein Data Bank provides a variety of the tools and the resources for studying the structure of the biological macromolecules. Okay, so this PDB provide all the resources and the tools for studying the structure of the biological macromolecules and their relationship with other sequences and its functions and the disease caused, if any. Okay, so this is the protein data bank. Next is GEO. GEO or Gene Expression Omnibus. Gene Expression Omnibus is a curated online resources and gene expression molecule abundance repository for gene expression data browsing, query, and the retrieval. Okay, so this GEO, Gene Expression Omnibus, is a curated online resource and a gene expression molecule abundance. Okay, so all the gene expression we can find out in the GEO. Okay, means all the expression data browsing, queries, and the retrieval we can do in the GEO. Okay, next is GXD. Okay, GXD is Gene Expression Database is a community resource for gene expression information. Okay, we can find out all the information about the gene expression in the GXD. Okay, GXD, Gene Expression Database, is a community resource. We can find out all the information about the gene expression. Okay, next is MGED or Microarray Gene Expression Data. Microarray Gene Expression Data, MGED. The full form of this MGED is Microarray Gene Expression Data. So MGED stands for Microarray Gene Expression Data, contain microarray data generated by the functional genomics and the proteomics experiments. Okay, how this microarray data generated? These are generated from the functional genomics and the proteomics experiments. Okay, this microarray data generated by the functional genomics and the proteomic experiments. So all the microarray data we can find out in the MGED. Okay, microarray gene expression data. Next is array expression from European Bioinformatics Institute. Okay, is a repository of transcriptomics data. Array expression, that is from the European Bioinformatics Institute. Okay, that is for the transcriptomics data. Okay, we can find out all the transcriptomics data in the array expression. Okay, next is metabolic pathway databases. Metabolic pathway databases, in this KEGG pathway. Okay, KEGG pathway database contain graphical pathway maps for all non-metabolic pathways from the various organisms. This KEGG pathway database contain all the graphical pathway map for all non-metabolic pathway from the various organisms. Okay, next is ECOSIC, is an E. coli database. ECOSIC. Okay, ECOSIC is an E. coli database, stores information regarding the genome and the biochemical machinery of E. coli. Okay, so we can find out all the information about this E. coli from the ECOSIC. Okay, so next is ligand. Ligand is the chemical database for enzyme reactions at the Institute for the Chemical Research, Kyoto. Okay, so ligand is a chemical database, okay, for the enzyme reactions. Okay, enzyme reactions database is the ligand. It is composite database, currently consists of compound, drug, glycan, reaction, repair, and the enzyme database. Okay, so this ligand database is the chemical database for the enzyme reactions. Okay, it's also it is composite databases, currently consist of compound, drug, glycan, reactions, repair, and the enzyme databases. Next is METASIC. METASIC is a non-redundant, experimentally elucidated metabolic pathway database. Okay, METASIC, in this METASIC we can find out all the experimentally elucidated metabolic pathways. Okay, we can find out all the information in the METASIC about this experimentally elucidated metabolic pathway. Next is Brenda. Brenda is an enzyme database. Okay, Brenda is an enzyme database that contains all the information on all aspects of the enzymes and the enzymatic reaction. So if we want any information about the enzymes or the enzymatic reaction, we can find out in the Brenda database. Okay, we can find out all the information of the enzymes in the Brenda databases. So there are lots of databases that are coming under in the secondary databases. We will discuss in our next class. So let's see some MCQs regarding this topic. So the first molecular biology server was in the year, so the correct answer is 1993. Proteomics refers to the study of the entire set of expressed proteins in the cells. The correct answer is the entire set of the expressed protein in the cells. Okay, so we can find out in the proteomic. Proteomic is the study of the entire set of the expressed proteins in the cells. Okay, proteomics, entire study of the entire set of the expressed protein in the cell. Which of the following compounds has desirable properties to become a drug? So fit drug, lead, fit compound, all of the above. So lead compound. The identification of the drugs through the genomic study is called genomic. So pharmacogenomics. The identification of the drugs through the genomic study is known as pharmacogenomics. Okay. What is the deposition of cDNA into the inert structure called DNA microarrays? Okay, DNA microarray. the deposition of cDNA into the inert structure. Okay, so this is the, so these are the MCQs regarding this topic. So this is the reference. Okay, so we have discussed in the today's class about the databases. So there are lots of data, means biological databases or the bioinformatics database. Databases are nothing else. These are the all the information about the biological data. Okay, all the information about the biological data, that may be protein sequence, that may be nucleotide sequence, okay, that may be structural, molecular structure. Okay, so for each and every, means we have different database for the protein sequence, we have different database for the nucleotide sequence, we have different database for the structural sequence, structure, molecular structure. Okay, so there are lots of databases are available, because this bioinformatics or the biological data collection is very complex. Okay, and this is also incomplete also. So we need one proper arrangement of this data. Okay, so we have created these databases. Okay, so the researchers or the scientists have created these databases. So there are a lot of databases we can find out, means there is one database that contain only the information about the enzymes. If we want any enzymatic reactions information, so we can find out from the Brenda. Okay, Brenda is the database. We can find out all the enzymatic reactions or the all the information about the enzyme. So this is all about the database. We will discuss more databases. Okay, we will discuss more databases in the next class. So I hope everybody understood it very well. So thank you.